William Butler Yeats was born on June 13, 1865 in Dublin, Ireland to a Protestant family. He is known as one of the greatest poets of the 20th century. Yeats' father was the ultimate influential figure in his life. Yeats' father was a painter by trade. Yeats first pursued his artistic talents as a poet in his teenage years. His first collection of poetry, The Wanderings of Orson and Other Poems, was published in 1889 when he was only 23. Another important influence on Yeats' earlier poetry was nature, specifically the seaside town of Sligo, where his mother's family lived. As a child, Yeats enjoyed Sligo's natural countryside beauty. Much of his earlier work is simply lyrical and beautiful that reveals his fascination with Celtic mythology, spirituality, and Irish legends. His middle years were influenced by the revolutionary Maud Gonne and his involvement in the Irish nationalist movement. In contrast, his later poems are bleak and concise and are heavily influenced by his melancholy experiences throughout his life. Other influences include Irish literature overall, his nationalism, and the historical events and culture of Ireland. These shifts of literary styles, themes, and tones over the course of Yeats' career are an example of the transitions from the Romantic to the modern era. Yeats' Irish heritage and cultural history were essential to his writing. During this time, Ireland was ruled by Great Britain and they wanted their independence. Yeats believed that British rule had a negative impact on Irish politics and social life. He used his writing to express his attitudes toward Great Britain and to inform his readers of the politics and history of Ireland. He lived through two great revolutionary wars, the Anglo-Irish War from 1919 to 1921, and the Irish Civil War from 1922 to 1923. The Irish Civil War particularly influenced Yeats because during the war he was the senator of the Free State, which made him a prime target for the opponents. Once his home at Merrion Square came under gunfire. In 1889, Yeats met the love of his life, Maud Gonne. For him, she symbolized the spirit of tragic beauty and Irish nationalism. He first proposed to her in 1891, but she refused. In 1903, Yeats was still deeply in love with her, but she rejected him again, and to his horror, married Major John McBride. Her husband was executed and Maud Gonne became a widow. When Yeats proposed for the last time in 1915, she yet again refused. At age 46, Yeats met Georgie Hyde Lees and they married in 1917. Together they had two children, Anne and Michael. In 1894, Yeats met friend and patron Lady Augusta Gregory of Poole Park. Lady Gregory was an Irish aristocrat who was a strong supporter of the arts and became very close friends of Yeats. In 1897, he collaborated with Lady Gregory, to which they became co-directors, and Edward Martin to establish the Irish Literary Theatre, which started its first season in 1899. It would later become known as the Abbey Theatre in 1904. In 1892, Yeats founded the Irish Literary Society. He also was involved in the Irish Republican Brotherhood. From November 1903 to March 1904, Yeats attended his first of 5 lecture tours in America, in which he had the privilege to dine with President Theodore Roosevelt at the White House. Yeats became president of the Irish National Theatre Society and senator of the newly established Free State Senate in 1922. During his life, Yeats received honorary degrees from Trinity College in Dublin, Aberdeen, Oxford, and Cambridge. In 1923, Yeats was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature and in 1934 the Gauls Plate of Frankfurt Council. This poem was published in 1919. It is a reflective narrative and explicit political commentary from the perspective of an Irish pilot during World War I. The tone is patriotic and insightful. Yeats uses imagery to describe the political situation in Ireland and to address the hypocrisy of the British use of Irish soldiers. Yeats was inspired to write this poem in honor of Major Gregory, Lady Gregory's son, who fought and died in the air war against Germany in World War I. In fact, Yeats wrote 3 other poems for Major Gregory, Shepherd and Gothard, in memory of Major Robert Gregory, and Reprisal. Yeats describes Major Gregory's thoughts as he sees his life pass before his eyes. The pilot chose to fly in the war not because of fame and fortune, but for the love of his country, or any hatred for the enemy, but simply the pure joy of flying. The theme of the poem was that at the moment of demise, nothing else matters except the present. Both the past and future are vital for the journey of life, but the present determines the overall value of life.
We are in a vertical dive.
In 1939, Yeats died and his remains were brought to his beloved city of Sligo. His headstone bears his own cryptic epitaph: "Cast a cold eye on life, on death, horseman, pass by.